Delray Beach, Florida. Everything you must know about our real estate market because it is on fire. Two years ago, I had a Facebook ad titled Delray Beach Walkable Condominiums Under $500,000. At that time, there was always 25 or more condos available for sale. Last year, in my weekly e-letter, a customer called me and said, "John, there's nothing in your link." So guess what? Starting 2022, I'm updating my ad to say condos near the beach under $1 million. It's a new real estate market here in Delray Beach, Florida. And I am not going to give you any introduction today. All I can say is if you like my content, please write to me, give me a thumbs up, say you like it, shoot it off and share it with a friend, do something. I've got to talk about the tragic event that took place last year. Last June, the condominium building in Surfside, Florida, just north of Miami, collapsed. A tragedy. Lots of people lost their lives. A very unfortunate event. And you know what? It did cause a lot of repercussions here in the condominium market throughout South Florida. Lots of customers, pretty much all customers, would come in asking, what about this building? Are they redoing the balconies? Are they doing any renovations? Is the HOA getting involved? Are there now special assessments? Are HOA fees going up? Yes, it elevated all of the information about what's going on in the condo market. And you know what? Ultimately, it was a good thing for the real estate market because it raised awareness, and lots and lots and lots of condominiums now are under massive renovations. I see them all the time about upgrading their balconies, redoing railings, doing all sorts of things. And yes, there's special assessments. And yes, there's lots of fees. And yes, HOAs are getting a lot more involved. But you know what? It's a good thing. But it also did not slow down the condominium market. Case in point, take a look at this first chart. This is a list of all the condominiums available in Delray Beach near the beach. But as you can see those three arrows, it's showing that there's only 3 condominiums out of a total of 8 available that are under $500,000. And guess what? They're not on the beach. So the other ones that you see in this list are over $500,000 and some of them over $1 million. So you can tell right now there's not a lot of condominium inventory in Delray Beach as we start the new year. So now I want to talk about what's going on in the market right now. I want to talk about leading indicators, and to give you some context about what that is, you can take a look at my video I did up here about 4 months ago that gives you all sorts of information about what leading indicators are. Basically helps you understand where the market is going versus what has happened in the past. And what I want to look at are active listings, new listings, pending sales, and days on the market. So specifically for Delray Beach, let's take a look at this chart that I put together for you. On the left side, on the month-over-month columns, you can see that last January of 2021, there was about almost 1,300 active listings versus last month, January 2022, there was a little over 500 for a drop of over 59%. New listings also the same, down 12%, which was 525 last year versus 464 this year. Now let's drop down to the very bottom where I talk about the continuing days on the market. We're down 66% year over year from 90 days on the market. Now they're selling in about a month. So also just some specific information. You can see here that the median sales price is up 25%. This is for all residential stuff here in just Delray Beach over the last year. Now, all that data shows that it is a super strong real estate market. Sellers, it's the peak of the market maybe. Every month I say it's a new peak, but every month there's a new peak, getting higher and higher. So if you're an investor, stick around to the end of this video because I'll give you access to a spreadsheet I've been using for the last 25 years. I put together with my old business partner. You're going to love it. Stick around and take a look at that. But now I want to show you some information that might show some sign of weakness in the market. Take a look at this. This is an excerpt from Realtor.com that just came out early February. It says pending home sales dropped 5.7%. That's a national figure, but the chief economist of NAR, Lawrence Yun, said, pending sales index is a forward-looking indicator of home sales based on contract signings. So if that's going down 5.7%, at the bottom he says, given the situation in the market, mortgage rates, home costs, and inventory, it would not be surprising to see a retreat in the housing demand. So basically what this economist is saying is that all the indicators we've been looking at for the last year are showing how strong the real estate market is. But people are always asking the same question. When is this bubble going to burst? We're going to talk about bubble and why I don't believe we're in a bubble yet, although we are peaking in all sorts of categories. But there is showing some signs of weakness. As a matter of fact, last week in the luxury real estate market, I saw 4 luxury homes that dropped their price from around $2.5 million to about $2.2 and $2.1 million. And we all know that one of the first things to go when a market slips are luxury goods like yachts and boats and planes and RV equipment. So at the peak of the market right now, we're starting to see some price reductions take place at the higher end. I don't know if that's a trend or not, but it's something for us to take a look at as we're looking at pending sales. Now there's 4 metrics I want to look at for 2022 that I think is important for you to keep an eye on. I call them the 4 I's. That's inventory, investors, interest rates, and iBuyers. Let's start with inventory. Earlier I told you that Delray Beach market active inventory is down about 65%. But now let's take a bigger look. Let's take a look at South Florida by looking first at this graph. This first graph shows 15,491 listings match. That's basically, as I pulled up the inventory list here at the end of February, that's how many listings are available today. 2 years ago when I did a video about this, there was 54,000 homes and properties available for sale. So that shows about 65% drop. Now if we look at this other chart, this is the chart on just Palm Beach County. You can take a look up there, January of 2022, down 49.9% or 50. And you can look at the erosion at that graph at the bottom from 2018 into 2019. There's about 8,000 properties for sale. And now we're 1,727 properties for a massive reduction in inventory. Now let's talk about investors. Right now, about 42% of all deals are done in cash. That tells us that more investors are in the market. They're looking for yield. As rental market has gotten stronger, I talked about that in another video as well. The rental market is up. Rental rates right now are up about 35 to 40% throughout all of Palm Beach County over the year before. So a $1,500 apartment is now going for about $2,800, $2,900. So rents are going through the roof, investors are coming with cash, and it's one of the highest cash levels that we've seen in years. Now let's talk about interest rates. Take a look at this chart. It shows over the last year, interest rates basically were in the 3%, 3.2%, and now they're up to almost 4.2. They're actually, as of this video, they're at 4.18%, which is a dramatic rise in rates. So your cost on money is going up. Ultimately, that's going to probably slow down the market, but it takes time for that stuff to happen. And the last I is iBuyers. The I stands for instant buyers. Basically, these are investing companies that have gone out and raised millions and millions and millions of dollars where they can come directly to sellers and say, I'll buy your property right now for cash. Companies like Zillow had an iBuyer program, OfferPad, Open Door, but take a look at what happened in 2021. These programs were feared by the real estate industry because they thought they would take away brokerage work in the real estate market. They were causing concern for real estate agents. But take a look at these charts on how these companies performed. Look at this one, OfferPad. The stock has crashed over 50%. Zillow last year, their share prices have just plummeted. Take a look at that. And now let's look at Open Door, another company very strong, but also the erosion in its share price. So as you can see, iBuyers was a very strong thing, and all of a sudden last year the market changed, and the fear that was in these markets, in these type of companies, eroded as their share prices collapsed. Until now, I've been talking about how strong the market is. Prices are high, how everything is just out of control, how there's no more inventory. That's all good information, but let's look forward. For months, I've been telling my subscribers to my e-letter, if you want to get to my e-letter, you got to let me know in the comments below. John, sign me up, and here's my email. But I'm looking at a company called Keeping Current Matters. They are on top of the research of the real estate market, and they put together some unbelievable graphs. I'm going to show you 4 graphs right now that will help support the idea that no, we're not in a bubble yet. Take a look at this. The first chart is about affordability. They compare basically what happened in the peak of the housing market back in the 2000s. Look back in 2007 when the market peaked. Housing affordability, was only 34%. Today, 25.8%. So it's basically saying that housing affordability is more today, that housing is less expensive today than it was back in 2007. Let's look at the next chart about lending standards. People say that the market is going to crash. Well, back then there were no standings. Everyone was getting credit. People were getting credit who could buy a house where their credit score was below 600. Look at that in the red charts. Today, lending standards in the mortgage industry is much tighter. So people have to prove themselves before they get lending these days. The next chart, look at the foreclosures. In the red, 2007, 8, 9, 10, foreclosures were everywhere. But our last 4 years, 2018, 19, 20, and last year, look at that. There's no foreclosures in the real estate market. And the final chart that blows my mind is the supply of homes. There was 9.6 million homes in the real estate market nationally back in 2007. Look at the blue marks. 3.7, 3 million, 1.9, 1.8. There's hardly any inventory. So with this data, all this data is looking at the fundamentals of the real estate market on a national level. The market is still performing at fundamental levels that should sustain what's going on. So if you think that we're going to market's going to crash and prices are going to crash and inventory is going to go up, I've been saying this all along. It's going to last a little bit longer than you think. Before I wrap it up, I just want to show two more charts about Delray Beach. Take a look at the days on market once again. You can see how dramatic it is. A year ago, properties were lasting on the market for about 90 days. That's 3 months. And now they're lasting about 30 days, which is 1 month. So as you can see, it's a dramatic drop in the days on market. Properties are selling like hotcakes. And take a look at this other chart just about single family homes. The column about median sales price, you can see the percentage is up 35% from $475,000 to now the median sales price all throughout Delray Beach is $643,000. It's an incredible increase. But what I want to talk about are the days on market is, we talk about the inventory. In Delray Beach, there's not many condominium or townhome developments as we stand in 2022 that are happening. One big prominent development is called Atlantic Crossing, and I'll give you a link to their website below. They plan on having about 100 luxury condominiums that won't be going up for sale till latter part of this year, but that's only about 100 units. If those sell well, they're going to be gobbled up in a heartbeat. The only other thing that I can see in downtown Delray is one-offs. Investors who've bought lots that are going to be building 3 or 4 units here and there. I can see right now maybe about 20, 25 more units. So we add up maybe about 125 more condos in downtown Delray. That's not a lot of inventory. So if I look out over the next year or even 18 months, Delray Beach is going to remain a real strong real estate market. So every 3 months I do a Delray Beach, Florida real estate market update. Today's was jam-packed with information. I hope you liked the data that I provided. If you did, please give me some comments. Like it, don't like it, share it with somebody. Do something. Just let me know. Pick up the phone and call me, text me, get in touch with me. I love to get feedback from folks. But here's the thing, I'm getting more investors calling me all the time saying, John, is it time to dive in? Well, prices are really high. But I'm giving you a link below if you are an investor or someone who's looking at doing an Airbnb, buying a multifamily property, buying a condominium or house, and you want to get specific data on what it's like to analyze these properties. 25 years ago, my old partner and I put together this spreadsheet that works like magic. You need to subscribe to it in the link below. I will get you the information. All you have to do is give me your phone number and email and I'll shoot that over to you. But click the link below and I will send that to you immediately. I hope you enjoyed today's overview of the Delray Beach market. I'll be back next week talking about more information about living in Florida and living in Delray Beach. See you next time.